We've just discovered one of our chickens has a wound on her foot. If she's standing still, she'll lift it. She'll walk on it just fine, but she'll lift it if she doesn't have to put weight on it. I've looked into it. It definitely looks like bumblefoot, and I'm going to do what I can to help her out. It's not very far along just yet. It's just a tiny little speck of the wound, but it can get pretty bad. It's a staph infection basically, so we want to get it as soon as we notice it. Most backyard chicken advocates that I'm finding online suggest using Prid's drying salve. That's an American product. I don't have that here. There are several advocates for a drawing salve as well. It basically draws out the infection. It'll draw out splinters and bee stingers and all kinds of things like that. Stinging nettle, ticks, tick bites, the poison out of tick bites and all of that. The most common ingredient is activated charcoal. I don't have activated charcoal, so I'm going to use baking soda. There are several homemade recipes for this drawing salve. I've looked up the ingredients, and all of the ingredients are safe for chickens. The essential oils that are in it would be lavender, tea tree, and frankincense. Most recipes will say lavender and tea tree, or lavender and frankincense, or tea tree and frankincense. The recipe I'm using calls for 40 drops total of the essential oils, so I'm going to split that up into the 3 different oils. This product can be used on humans or chickens, so I'm going to separate it into 2 containers. One I'm going to mark with an H for human use, and I'll keep that in, in our medical chest, and the other one is going to be for chickens. I'll mark that with a C, and it will be kept in the chicken's medical chest. There are some recipes as simple as 3 ingredients. That would be a solid coconut oil, frankincense oil, and lavender oil, and you melt it and then let it mix your essential oils in and then let it firm up again. There are some that are more complex that have more ingredients. I'm actually doing one of those today because I have the ingredients. I might as well do it. The more complex recipes all call for bentonite clay and activated charcoal. I don't have either one. I have kaolin clay, which is perfectly good for skin, so I can't see that being a problem. And baking soda, which I again checked, it's also safe for chickens and it's also good for your skin. Come on down to the countertop and make this salve with me. Okay, we're going to warm these oils, double boiler method. I don't have a double boiler, so I'm going to use a wide mouth mason jar. This is a 1 pint size, and a pan of water. The wide mouth makes it easy to stir. The straight sides make it easy to stir and get any chunks out of it, anything that solidifies out of it later. I'm going to put that on a low heat. We just want to melt the coconut oil when we get to that. I've just grabbed a package of disposable chopsticks from Thai Express. We love that place. I've had them in the car, so I just grabbed those. A few months ago in the Every Bit Counts challenge, that would have been August, I did make some plantain in olive oil and some oregano in olive oil so that I could have these ready to go. And now it's proving to be helpful. I haven't sieved them out or anything, and today I just need 3 tablespoons of each. I will work on the rest of that later. Right now, I just want this oil. I'd like to have this ready to put on her in the next half hour, so we'll see how that goes. The recipe I'm using calls for calendula infused oil. I don't have any of that. I should have, because I have calendula. I just haven't done the work. This one is oregano. We all know that oregano has a great reputation for the properties of antibacterial, antifungal, anti-everything. I've been a long-time subscriber to Simply Earth, which has recipe boxes, a monthly recipe box they send to you, and I just pulled a bunch of ingredients out of there. This one is castor oil, and I need 2 tablespoons of that. You can order directly from them, or you can become a subscriber for the monthly box. Okay, now 2 tablespoons of beeswax. 2 tablespoons of beeswax. These little pelleted beeswax are sulfite free, and they're safe for use on your skin, so this is perfect for this. And these little pellets melt nicely. If you're subscribed to the recipe boxes with Simply Earth, they send you 6 recipes every month and the ingredients to make everything. And the first time you sign up, and every 6 months afterwards, you get a big box, big bonus box that has coconut oil, almond oil, roller bottles, and master recipe, essential oil dropper bottles for diffuser style recipes. Okay, let's see if I can get them off of there. Well, that worked. A lot easier than I thought. Come on, get out of there. And now it wants the activated charcoal. 1 tablespoon of activated charcoal. I'm going to be using the baking soda. Baking soda, not baking powder. This is not doing much yet. Let's turn that up a little tiny bit. And now some clay. It wants bentonite clay, but I have kaolin clay. It's still going to perform the same functions. You can buy activated charcoal and bentonite clay on Amazon, but I don't have time to wait for that. I have to do this now. If I was a good chicken keeper, I would have had the ingredients, the first aid kit made up ahead of time. We've been keeping chickens for a year and a half now. You think I'd be all over that. We haven't had any health issues with our chickens, so that would explain why I haven't put together a first aid kit yet. And we don't want this hot enough to cook the essential oils when I get there, or to cook the nutrients out of the other oils I've put in. We just want this warm enough to melt the beeswax. I've got a few pastilles of the beeswax floating in the water, so I know that when it gets warm enough there and they melt, that my jar will be melted. This might take a minute or two. I'll leave a link in the description down below to some of these ingredients. I'll leave a link to the Simply Earth website, and I'll leave a link to where I got this recipe from. You could microwave this as well, because all you really have to do is melt that beeswax. Okay, that took a little while longer than I anticipated, but it's good to go now. All those wax bits are melted off, and it's cool enough. I actually put some on my hand, and it's cool enough. It's already solidifying on my hand. So let's go with, it's supposed to, originally the recipe was 25 drops of lavender and 15 drops of tea tree, which is 40 drops. So I'm splitting that up. I'm still going to go with the majority being lavender, 20 lavender, 10 tea tree, and 10 frankincense. And of course it's difficult to count exactly 20. It seems like you go to 19 and the next thing you know you got 21. Okay, so 10, this is tea tree, 10 of this. This is the frankincense. Ooh, that came out fast. I have 2 little bottles here. These ones I ordered from Amazon, and this is an old face cream bottle that I've cleaned up really thoroughly. I'll use that one for the chickens. And I'm just going to pour. Move these out of the way. It's a little hot at the bottom. Chickens won't need much. And I might as well make some for us. Drying oil is good for, like I mentioned earlier, drying oil is good for removing ticks and the poisons out of ticks. But imagine pulling out a sliver, or pulling out stinging nettle, and that's that. I'm going to let those cool. I'll probably put the chicken one in the fridge because I need it pretty quickly, and we'll go from there. We need to get outside and get this chicken into a foot bath of Epsom salts and lukewarm water, and we'll soak her feet every night for 2 or 3 nights. We'll put the ointment on and bandage her up. In 2 or 3 days, the core of that wound should come out. Chickens don't pus like we do. We get a liquidy pus and in a wound, and they get a solid piece, more like a kernel of corn. So we need to pull that out. You need to wear gloves when you're doing this too. I'm doing it for the first time, but I've been doing all kinds of research and finding out how to treat this, and I hope you never have to deal with it. Thank you for joining me today as I'm preparing for some chicken care. See you next time, guys.